Okay folks, welcome back to some more Long Dark. We are still in Wintermute, and I have to be honest, I've made so many of these videos in such a short space of time, I've completely forgotten which one this is. I think it's 15, 16, something like that, I can't remember. But we are here in the Trapper's homestead. We are with the Trapper, and he has set us a mission, whoopsie-daisies. And our mission is to find the railway maintenance yard and get to the repair shed. And as we noted on the last video, if you look at the map, the railway maintenance yard is down here, so we are heading to Forlorn Muskeg. That is where we are going, but it's the middle of the night, so we're not going right. Excuse me, we're not going right now. So, literally saved the game for. I literally just slept for an hour to save the game. So let us sort out our food and everything. Now we actually have some.
Anything for a drink right now.
We have some raw venison that we probably could make use of this here stove to cook it. I'm sure the Trapper won't mind. I'm not too worried if my condition drops because I'm dehydrated, because ultimately I'm gonna have to sleep anyway, because I'm gonna have to.
Hungry in my life.
I'm gonna have to get myself through to daylight, so I'm not gonna worry too much about that. So that appears to be a permanent fire. That fire's not going to go out, so that's quite useful. From a survival standpoint, let's eat the venison. In fact, I think I'm going to eat both pieces of venison, because that gets rid of that wolf attracting issue. How much water have I got? Do I possibly need to make some more water before I go anywhere? Let's just have a quick look. I'm actually 8 kilos over my carrying limit. It's slightly awkward because I can't really leave things behind particularly. Okay, I'm going to just equip that, which will obviously allow me to pop it down. There we go, so I can leave that behind. But I can't really leave a great deal behind. I'm going to have to take a fair bit of this stuff with me, because I'm going to need it when I go to Forlorn Muskeg, because we are going into what is quite a tricky region, so we're going to have to accept that we're overweight, although we haven't necessarily got to go very far. I assume we're carrying the rifle as well. Are we carrying the rifle? We're not, but I kind of assume we sort of are, but it's not being counted in our inventory. Okay, so we need to sleep through the night to get ourselves through the following morning, so let's try and do that. So we'll try and do 7 hours. See if it will let us. Now, I have to be honest with you, it's been about a week now, almost, since I last played the game. I had that massive odyssey of filming the Long Dark over the weekend fairly recently, but it has now been nearly a week since I've been on the game, so I'm possibly going to be a little bit rusty. I'm also mildly distracted because over on the other screen, on the other side of the room, I've got some IndyCar going on, which is an old race actually, just after the Indy 500, which I haven't seen, so I'm kind of looking one way and looking the other way. Okay, so in theory we should be heading towards daylight. It's still quite dark in here, but I think we're heading towards dawn, so let's head outside, because I want to get a move on now. I want to get over to Forlorn Muskeg. It's a bit of a... Ooh, that's not good. Okay, we're not going anywhere right now. Let's go back inside. If it had been clear weather, we probably could have made a move, but it's not, so we're probably going to have to stay put. Just pop our bedroll back down again. You'll notice the Trapper is awake, but he's just kind of ignoring us. So let's sleep for a few more hours, see if we can come out the other side of this storm. Get ourselves back out there. Well, it ain't sounding positive. I am thinking it might be worth me using my free fire to make myself a little bit of water. I know I'm already fairly overweight, but this is a free fire. This fire is permanently burning. It's not going to... We might as well use the purification tablets. I know that this is a free fire, and that we probably should really be keeping them, but the story mode is obviously showing to me that we're not worrying necessarily about long-term survival. We're going to be moving from location to location quite a lot, let's sleep for another hour. We just got to see if we can get out the other side of the storm. So I can still hear the sound going on in the background. And I'm actually just going to think about that for a second, because I have realised on some of the other videos that the audio level of the game itself has been a bit low. Which for the most part is not really a problem, but it's an issue with the cutscenes that we now have in the game that are playing. I have to confess, I hadn't thought about that. I normally keep the game audio itself quite low, so hopefully you guys can hear it, but it's not drowning us out and being really loud. Mainly because when we are in a storm and things like that, it can get really, really loud, and it can be quite a problem. For you being able to hear me and for it deafening everybody and things like that. So I tend to turn the game audio itself down quite low. But I've realised with the cutscenes, obviously you need to have that audio up so you can actually hear the cutscenes. And I've realised that I haven't done that. So what I've done, I have boosted the game audio slightly. So hopefully you can hear the dialogue and you can hear everything a little bit better. It's the same kind of level as me. Hopefully. It's a bit difficult to judge, to be honest, because I actually record the commentary with OBS when I record the game, so I can't adjust the two separately afterwards, or we wouldn't have a problem. But if I try and record it separately, I have all sorts, then I have to think about synchronizing it and all that kind of rubbish, and it just gets a bit complicated. So what I have been doing is tweaking the volume levels, so hopefully it's slightly better audio for you now. You can hear the game a bit better. But right now things are quite quiet. The storm has died down. What's the temperature like? Oh, that's pretty good. Feels like 0. Not bad at all. So good travelling conditions actually. Some light snow, no wind, and the temperature is above freezing. So we're actually doing really, really well. Okay, so we're passing over the top of where the bear's den is, which is down in that little gap in the rock there. We've got some rabbits and a deer down at the bottom of the hill. We want to stay up here a little bit if we can, because we want to be heading this way. We've got to go past... well, actually, no, we haven't got to go past Camp Office. We're heading towards it, but we're not actually going to go past it. We're actually going to make a right-hand turn when we drop down the side of here, and we're going to head around and onto the railway line and through the tunnel, because that's what takes us to Forlorn Muskeg, and that's where we're going. Forlorn Muskeg is a region that I don't play particularly often in sandbox mode, because I don't tend to survive very long there. There's no proper interior location on Forlorn Muskeg. There is the risk of falling through the weak ice, but quite frankly that's fairly easy to dodge around. That's not really a problem. The real issue is that there's no proper shelter. There are a couple of caves that we can make use of, but we're actually looking for a railway maintenance yard, and when Forlorn Muskeg was actually brought out, there wasn't a railway maintenance yard in it, so I think this is going to be yet another new addition to an existing map, which is cool. Now, one thing that I haven't done is play sandbox mode since Wintermute came out, because I've been so absorbed with playing Wintermute, I haven't actually played sandbox mode, so I am going to get back into that. I know we had a Faithful Cartographer playthrough, a sandbox playthrough on the go. I've still got that save file. I have one video from that series that was filmed before Wintermute came out that I haven't uploaded. So what I'm probably going to do is just stick that one up and stick it in the playlist, and then we'll pick that series back up again. And we'll try and do some more sandbox survival as well with the new maps and everything. And I'm actually going to be interested, I don't know because I haven't looked, whether the new things like Milton and those maps are actually available in sandbox survival mode. I'm really very interested actually. Okay, I've just realised I'm actually heading the wrong way. I don't want to be going down there, that's completely in the wrong direction. I need to be going up here now. I was skirting a wolf. I don't know if anybody else spotted that wolf that was prowling around down there. I was trying to skirt around it. But we need to head up towards that railway car. So let's do a bit of sprinting just to get ourselves up there a little bit quicker. We are encumbered, so we're not going to be able to sprint very far or very fast. But we'll just speed things along a little bit and get ourselves over here. Hopefully we're not going to have to go very far into Forlorn Muskeg. I will just double check the map in a second and make sure I am definitely heading to the right place, because I don't want to I don't want to look like an Aegis because I've read the map wrong. Okay, so we are at the transition tunnel. Here it is. This is the tunnel that leads through to Forlorn Muskeg, which I'm fairly sure is where we need to be going. Now, one thing about this map, let's drop us homestead, look, and we've come down here, and we've come around to the right to fix my rifle, and that's where we're leaving Mystery Lake, so that's where we're headed. One thing about this map is actually slightly different to the sandbox mode. We haven't had to draw it. The map itself is already here. It shows the entire region, but it doesn't show the landmarks until we've actually been to them. So there's supply caches. There's actually a supply cache there, which we've presumably picked a note up about somewhere that I've forgotten about. But there is a supply cache. We can maybe go and have a look for that and try and find it. I think the beauty with this is that we can actually kind of play it at our own pace. It does look like we can play it at our own pace. We can go and explore the region if we want to. We don't have to rush between the mission goals, and there are side missions to do, so I suppose we could always kind of do this, and then before we go back to the trapper, go over to the supply cache and go and pick it up, and head up to Forestry Lookout before we leave the region as well. Okay, so we're heading out of Mystery Lake, we're heading into Forlorn Muskeg. I can't remember if there's a transition area actually between the two, because I haven't done it very much. I was getting mildly concerned the game may have crashed there. Things have just gone a bit slow. There we go. Okay, so we're now in Forlorn Muskeg, so let's see if we now get a different map. Yes, we do. And the map has absolutely nothing on it apart from the old Spence family homestead, which is the only kind of buildings on here, but there's not a proper indoor location. You fix my rifle, leave Forlorn Muskeg.
Could eat anything.
Okay, so we're actually going to pass through Forlorn Muskeg and go out the other side. Okay. In theory then, all we've got to do is follow the railway line, but you tend to get a lot of wolves on the railway line here. We're passing through Forlorn Muskeg, which is a pretty desolate region. It's quite a difficult place to be. We are in slightly better condition than I have been some of the times I've been here, where I've actually done a few off-camera kind of playthroughs, and I have actually started in Forlorn Muskeg, but I never made it very far. In a couple of cases that was actually intentional. I have been doing a little bit of filming for a tutorial series for the Long Dark. I started doing it when Faithful Cartographer came out, but things have been so busy, having the time to actually come and do it, film it and edit it has proven to be a bit tricky, so I wound up not being able to get it published before Wintermute came out. So it's I'm probably going to start again, obviously because some things have changed with Wintermute, so I'm probably going to start it again, but I'm hoping I can get this series going of tutorial videos. So they're going to be quite short, and they're basically just going to show you how to play the game and how to get the most out of it, based mainly on survival sandbox rather than story mode. But I'm going to do a little bit of work on it and see if we can get that done. It's a bit time consuming, and it's something that I don't have a great deal of at the moment, but I was doing a little bit of filming of just various things, including sort of death sequences and things like that, which I kind of deliberately did so that we could get them on camera. And I did them all in this region because you only have to make one slip and you can disappear off the map. And there be monsters. Okay, so we've got some wolves over there. I'm going to stop jabbering now because I've been jabbering the whole way through this video. Right, we're going to head across, we're going to follow the railway line across Forlorn Muskeg. We're pretty exposed out here. The temperature's -10. We're actually not too bad. We're a bit hungry. So I'm just going to, I think, just eat a little bit. I'll probably just eat a cattail stalk just to help control our condition loss. I don't think we'd be able to carry a torch across here because the wind would blow it out. So we are a bit exposed by following the railway line. We could go over there and follow the mountain edges, but it'll take a bit longer and there's more risk of us falling through the weak ice if we do that. So I'm going to stick to the rail tracks. Obviously we have this wrecked train here. which may or may not have something interesting in it. It doesn't traditionally, if my memory serves me. It doesn't normally. What's that? Is that just a rock or is it a piece of coal? Is it actually a piece of coal? Okay, well, we'll have it. We are encumbered. We've got some scrap metal there, which I'm not going to bother with. Oh, we can actually get inside. Okay, so we have a little area here with a bit of a camp. We've got a bedroll. Poacher's camp. Okay.
I'll be hungry later.
Oh, we've got a bit of food. I'm going to get rid of the cloth. I don't think we need that. We've got some coal here, which I'm not going to bother with. We've actually got a fire barrel. Okay. Well, let's get ourselves a fire going then. The weather's not too great, so yeah, let's get ourselves a fire going. Let's warm ourselves up a little bit. We'll also burn off some of our excess weight, i.e. by burning off some of the firewood. It'll allow us to warm up. I've never actually properly explored Forlorn Muskeg, so it could well be this has always been here ever since the region first launched a couple of updates ago, and I've just never found it because I've never really looked, to be honest. Okay, so hopefully this fire will light. So far so good with fire lighting, actually. There we go. Let's chuck a bit of cedar firewood and a bit of reclaimed wood onto the fire. So that's giving us a 2-hour fire. So let's stay here and we'll get ourselves warmed up. Actually okay in terms of everything, really. So we'll have a little bit of one of these, and we'll have a couple of these, I think. Don't overdo it because we haven't got a limitless supply of food, it has to be said. I have got an MRE, so that will be good. So I'm just going to hide behind this fire barrel for a bit. This might actually come in quite useful when we come back the other way. So what I might do, that coal that we picked up, I think I'm going to drop it here. I only put one lump up, let's just drop it. I think I'm also going to drop that last bit of reclaimed wood. We don't be carrying that with us. Well, let's drop a box of matches as well. That just helps. We'll keep the accelerant just as an emergency standby. Okay, so I'm just going to drop a little bit of a stash of fuel and things here. And I think we'll remember this from when we come back the other way.
I could use this.
Okay, we'll leave those for now. We'll leave that for now. We'll take that. And I'm just going to stay behind my fire barrel. Things are a little bit cold outside. I probably put a bit too much fuel on that fire, so I'm not really going to stay here for 2 hours, but actually, do you know what? I've got an idea. Let's do something I don't normally do. Let's make ourselves a little supply cache here. So let's melt ourselves some snow, make ourselves some water, and we'll leave some of it here. Oh, there's the ominous music. The mournful music is playing. I'm slightly concerned. Why is the mournful music playing? Okay, so we've got ourselves a bit of water. So let's drop that water here. Or let's just drop some of it. So let's drop 1.5 litres. So we'll drop that here. So that'll be there ready for us when we come back the other way. Can we take a torch? I'm sure we can. Yes, we can. Okay, let's jump up and let's get going. And hopefully this torch will help us against any wolves, and it will also blow out as soon as we walk around the corner. Well, that went well. I kind of knew that was going to happen, though, to be fair. I think there's a bit of fire. Is that firewood? Is this all firewood? Yes, it is. Okay, cool. Well, I'm tempted to leave all that there, and we'll gather it up on the way back, because we are going to have to go back. Okay, that's a bit awkward. So I've lost my torch. Have I got a flare? I've got quite a few flares, actually. I've got 7 of them. Because there is a wolf eating a dead deer right in our path, and it is starting to go dark as well. Actually, what? Okay. I'm starting to wonder if I'd have been better off staying in the poacher's camp, actually. Yes. Let's go back and stay in the poacher's camp overnight. I think we'll be safer in here. We'll go through till the following morning, and then we'll make our move. Because, again, we seem to be moving into a different region, or certainly a different area beyond Forlorn Muskeg. Well, let's gather all this up now then, because it makes more sense for us to have it with us. There we go. my quick method of trying to pick things up tends to end up lighting flares by mistake. There's quite a lot of scrap metal around here. Oh, is that food? Oh, it's actually food. Okay, we'll have that. Should have come and paid a bit more attention.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
I know, there's quite a lot of it. Can I get through that gap? Nope. To find a way of getting back around so I don't have to meet. Okay, so can we get back inside the rail car? I could hear my fire still burning when I came the other way. So if we're really lucky, it still is going to be burning. And we can bung some coal on it, which we might as well do. We've got plenty of coal in here, so we might as well stick the coal on the fire and give ourselves a good long fire. We've got some more over here actually, and some reclaimed wood, because it's potentially going to get a bit chilly in here, so the more fuel we can chuck in. Let's chuck a bit of... Let's give ourselves... There we are. That's an 11-hour fire. And we have a bedroll here, but of course we are carrying our own, so we might as well use our own bedroll. It's nice and warm. It's pretty cool, actually. Let's pop our bedroll on the floor. So we're going to be pretty safe in here, I think. Can we shut the door? Oh, that's worth a look, isn't it? Right, okay, so let's go through the night then. Do we need to eat or drink? We don't need to drink, but we do need to eat. So let's eat some food. This is where we are starting to run a little bit low. Let's eat the stale chocolate bar. And we have some dog food, which is quite low condition, so we'll eat that as well before it degrades completely. So that'll give us 500 calories, which I'm hoping will be enough. And we might as well drink the little bit that we've got, so that we're well stocked on water. Okay, so let's do... When we do an 8-hour sleep, we can actually do a 10-hour sleep. So let's do a 10-hour sleep then. And we shall go through the night and come out the other side. Now, something that's dawned on me, and I haven't actually checked this, it's literally just come to me, is this thing where we can sleep through the night without waking up fully rested. Or certainly what seems to be happening. I am wondering whether it is something which is only in story mode, and whether actually if you try doing that in survival sandbox, the same normal thing would happen, that you would wake up fully rested. You wouldn't be able to sleep through the whole night. So I am actually I think I am gonna try and do a sandbox game, and see whether it's whether some of these slight changes have passed through into sandbox mode as well as Wintermute. I don't know, I think I'm kind of rushing through a little bit. I think with Wintermute you can almost pace yourself. Let's pick up our bedroll. Okay, well, we've still got 43 minutes left on that fire, but we're actually in really good shape as it looks at the moment. We're been really warm in here. I am gonna let's take a torch from our fire barrel and get out there. It doesn't look as windy now, so I'm hoping that means we can carry on. It's not going to blow a torch out. Although that wolf is still there, so that wolf has been there now for about 12 hours eating that deer. I'm surprised any of the deer left, to be honest. It's fairly early in the morning. What's the temperature? Minus 18. It's quite cold. And I do have a flaming torch, so it's actually probably a lot colder than that. It is one thing that the game does simulate, is generally speaking, in real life, it does tend to be colder in the morning, first thing before the sun's really come out and done anything, than it is later in the day when the sun's been out for a bit and it's warmed the air up. So that is something that is simulated quite well in the long dark, and the temperatures can be as low as minus 30 first thing early morning. Okay, here we go then with the wolf. We're going to have to go toe to toe, and I'm really hoping I can scare it away. Normally I would avoid, but I don't want to risk weak ice. You're not really in the mood to fight me, are you? Not good. Not at all good. Okay. We'll plan B it then. There we are. Oh, this is awkward. Well, I can actually extinguish the torch, so let's do that, and then we won't lose that torch. And then let's pick up the flare. Now, normally I, of course, would harvest the deer carcass, but I'm not going to do that. Because I'm already overweight. And I'm on a trek away. If it's still there when I come back, I will, of course, harvest it. But I am trekking away. Now, the wolf, unfortunately, is still in my path. And he's heading back towards me. So we're going to have to go toe-to-toe with it again. I'm really hoping... No, we're going to fight it. We're going to fight it. We'll go with the slash. Okay, we've got some torn clothing. Hopefully nothing too dramatic. We haven't dropped anything because I know that can happen. I think we did a fair bit of damage to the old wolf there. We could probably do with checking what clothing got damaged. And what kind of damage it sustained. Ooh, it's the hat. In fact, quite a few other things are quite low condition, so we possibly need to have a look at that fairly soon. But let's get off Forlorn Muskeg first. And we are heading across the lake. The wolf annoyingly has actually run down the line, and we're going to encounter it a bit further down again, I think. I think it's over there. If we're lucky, it may have died by the time we get there. Okay, that over there I think is a different wolf. I don't think that's the same wolf. Okay, I'm going to brave Sir Robin it a little bit because I just want to get clear of this. So, okay, let's see if we can... Gotta watch out for thin ice. Oh, shoot. Oh, just what I did not want. We've been clocked by this one. Well, at least that one's a little bit more wary of us. I think that is a different wolf. I'm pretty sure it is. Okay, so we're clear of that little break in the railway line. We're going to continue. It's quite a long way, actually. It's quite a long way. It really is quite a long way across Forlorn Muskeg. I'm actually now really glad that I did double back to that camp because we would not have made it across here somewhere sensible before it got dark. And I think we'd have ended up in a spot of bother. So I'm actually really glad that I did double back. Got another dead deer over there. Keep your eye open for the wolf. Now obviously we did attack that wolf. I've been attacking it with my hatchet. There's actually another dead deer over there. There's dead deer all over the place. I did attack it with my hatchet, which will have done some damage, so I am really hoping that it's going to have dropped somewhere and we're not going to have to fight it. Now, this looks a little bit messy. Rail cars all over the place. Again, we're at hypothermia risk. I've actually gone quite a long way before that happened. I expected that to happen a bit earlier. Okay, so we do not want to fall through the thin ice because that will give us a real problem. I thought it was a blood spatter. It's a stone.
Cold.
Okay, it is obviously cold. We have some more firewood knocking about here, but I'm not going to pick it up because I am already obviously so heavily overweight. Not worried too much about it. A couple of crow feathers there. Okay, well we've made it across Forlorn Muskeg. We're now on the other side. Just careful in case we've still got any wolves or things around. We've got quite a long logging train here that we've got to have to pass down the side of. And we are going to be, by the looks of things, we are actually going to be leaving the region. We're going to be heading into a tunnel over here, which is going to head out of the region, and that is going to take us to, or are we going to head out of a tunnel? Where are we going to go? Oh, I think there is a passageway here. Can't sprint anymore. I am at hypothermia risk, but I am hoping that we will find somewhere a little bit warmer on the other side. We have a tunnel. We do have a tunnel here, so we're going to head into that tunnel, where I'm really hoping it's going to be a little bit warmer, and we shall be safe. Or we shall at least be safe, and I can light a fire. Or are we going to end up leaving for long? Let's get rid of that. Are we warmer in here? No, we're still cold, and we're still at hypothermia risk. But we are going into a tunnel, so I assume that means we are going to be coming out into a tunnel on the other side. So let's see what happens. I'm conscious that we're pretty much at length here, but I don't want to end just yet. Oh no, it has just popped back out into the... Oh, can I just duck into the tunnel? Is it a bit warmer in here? Okay, we're going to have to do something to stop ourselves from getting hypothermia, but we shall do it at the beginning of the next video. So, we are here, we are still going through Wintermute, we are well into episode number 2, we have crossed Forlorn Muskeg, we haven't explored it particularly, but we've crossed it, and we're now into a new region, which is the Broken Rail Yard. So that's our new region. Let's have a quick look at the map, actually. There's the maintenance yard, there's us. So we do have a bit of a trek. This is quite a small region by the looks of things, but looks like there might be some things in here of interest. So this is another new area. Another new area brought in with Wintermute. So let's do a little exploring then, see what we can find. But we're going to do that in the next video. So I'm going to say, as always, thank you very much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed Long Dark episode number 2. And I shall see you again very, very soon.